Hey Dre, hope you're doing well. I guess you're wondering why I'm talking to you in front of a camera, and the story behind it is I saw the video that you made for Diana, the send-off to college. I thought it was just unbelievable and just a testament to how great of a person you are, always thinking of others before you think of yourself. So, I thought it was a good time to give back to somebody who gives so much to everyone. So this video is for you, Dre. Hope you like it.
I first met Carolyn my freshman year through my hockey friends. I just kind of met her, sat down at a table one day, started chatting with her.
I first met Dre when we started playing hockey together, and she was kind of just a mentor growing up.
U12 tryouts at Minnetonka B in the corner. She said hi to me, and I didn't know who she was.
I met Carolyn my second day on campus during orientation. She found out that I was going to try out for the hockey team and introduced herself, and so she was like one of the first people from hockey that I met here.
I first met Carolyn when I joined the Tonka Dynasty soccer team. I don't know how long ago, and right from the start, she was one of the first girls to make me feel welcome to the team, and I knew from then that we'd become good friends.
I think we met the first year I played U12. So that was like my first transition over to the girls hockey. I think that's where we first met.
I first met Carolyn through hockey. I think it was just at our summer league, like the showcase league that we had.
I first met Carolyn, I believe it was back in summer camps when EJ and I first started, and back in 2004 or 5. She was a U12, I believe, at that time, and I saw this little Spitfire on the ice and smiling, and I think I went up to her and said, "What's your name?" And she said Carolyn, and from that day forward she was always the first in line, and that's, I think, the first time I met her.
The first time I met Carolyn was probably at captain's practice, and yeah, she was going hard, usual.
First met Carolyn playing hockey when I was U12. I was playing up a year, and she was one of the older girls in the U12 age group.
Okay, so I think, looking back, I'm not exactly sure of the exact moment, but Carolyn and I met sometime early on freshman year. I checked on Facebook. We've been friends since October of freshman year. But I think it was because Leah Johnson, that one, she lived across the hall from me, and so I think Carolyn would just come up there, and somehow we got to know her, me and my group of friends. So I think that was the very first time we met.
Me and Dre first met in youth hockey, obviously, somewhere between me on her team and her playing with my sister and me just watching her games.
I just remember that freshman year I didn't have anyone to ride with to captain's practice, and she was just so open and let me ride in her car every time.
I think I first met Carolyn when we were going to captain's practice, and kind of like Lou, I didn't really have anywhere to ride with. I was pretty quiet back then, and so she let me join her car and stuff, and it was really fun all the time.
I first met Carolyn because she was obviously coming to Gustavus, and I was a year older than her, and so we first met at kind of like the summer league games, but we didn't get to really interact, and I think we first started interacting when she made the team.
So Carolyn and I first met her freshman year, so I was a junior at Gustavus, and I'm pretty sure we first met on Halloween when 7 of us crammed into a car and were driving each other around. I was some type of Pippi Longstocking character, and I can't remember what she was, but and then throughout the hockey season, since I'm a pseudo hockey player, we got to meet each other throughout that, and just starting to hang out, going to church and going to FCA, and just spending a lot of fun girls' nights together.
First time I met Carolyn was way back in the day. I think we were in, sometime in middle school. And I was a sub on her soccer team actually before I joined on her soccer team. And so when I was subbing on her team, I got to play with her, got to know her. She was definitely one of the most welcoming girls on the team. And then I think it was the next year I actually joined her team and played soccer with her for the remaining of my career through high school in the summer.
I first met Carolyn on my overnight. I was hanging out with Moss, Courtney, and Easy, and she came in to show her new shirt. So
I first met Carolyn during Greeter Gotcha. And so one day I was on a field trip with some other ed majors when I was an ed major back in the day, and when we got back I was walking from my car to my dorm room oh, it's such a nice, wonderful day, this is wonderful, not a Greeter Gotcha person in sight. And as I'm walking into the building, I hear this like, doo, 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 and I was like, what's that? And I look over my shoulder, and Carolyn is charging after me with this look in her face, and I was super terrified, and she threw the ball, and she missed me because I'm the best and she's the worst. And that is how I first formally met Carolyn, was through terror, fear, and excitement.
Draayer and I first met when we were babies on some hockey team way back when. I'm pretty sure it was probably U12s. But I got to know her even more through AAA teams that we did throughout summer and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes way back. I just can't really remember it. A couple concussions, whatever.
I met Carolyn when I was a freshman at soccer tryouts.
I first met Carolyn in 2012 when we were working together at the 48-hour film contest. And we were working together on the project, and Russell kind of invited us both down, and we needed a puppy for one of the shots, and Carolyn had little Crosby at that time and brought him over. And so yeah, that's kind of how we first met, just playing with Crosby in the basement and working on the film contest and the film project and getting to know her through that. And then we kind of just been keeping in touch from that point, working on different video projects from there. But that's how I first met her.
So I met Carolyn at All Saints Daycare. We were probably like 3 or 4 years old.
I met Carolyn in a summer league hockey game. It was coming into my freshman year, and so I actually met her and had a conversation with her on the bench, and I was like, "Oh, you skate weird." She did not like that, so that was our first encounter.
Carolyn and I first met probably like 3rd or 4th grade. We were on the same soccer team, and for a long time, up until we left for college, actually, so long time.
I was a junior, I think. She was a freshman. We met in cross country.
I met Carolyn during our first summer league game.
Good answer.
I guess we looked back on it, and Draayer and I met, we had Junior Fest, right? Mm-hmm. Junior Fest, we're on the same Junior Fest team, but I guess it'd also be during summer league when we actually started to get to know each other.
I first met Carolyn when she was a U12 hockey player at Minnetonka. It's been 10 years now since I've been coaching the high school girls. And I just met her by watching her play, and then I met all the players on that team. But what I remember about Carolyn is that she used to wear a do-rag. She used to wear a bandana style do-rag before like the Under Armour made the do-rag that Kelsey Crow has made so famous around here. And so back then she kind of looked like Deion Sanders and the Dallas Cowboys. She, for such a nice and sweet girl, she was kind of playing the bad girl image with the do-rag, and she wore it on the ice, and she kind of looked tough, and she played tough and played hard, and I just thought she stood out to me right away as a player that just played really hard and seemed like a real positive person. When I met her as a 12-year-old, she was not too much different, than she is today.
Draayer, I first met you, I think it was captain's practice before our freshman year of high school. I had transferred, I'd gone to Hopkins up until 8th grade, for those of you who don't know, and I transferred to Minnetonka my freshman year, and it was one of the best decisions I could have made. And I think it was captain's practice right before our freshman year when I first met you.
Oh, growing up, she was active. She had a very vivid imagination, and let's see, she loved to eat. She's always been really hungry, and really verbal. A lot to say. She, just loved to play. I mean, all kids do, but yeah.
When we were younger, we always loved to joke around with each other and be silly. We would always pull pranks on our parents or our grandparents, whether it'd be like putting like a whoopee cushion under the grandparents' chair just to mess with them. But Carolyn growing up was probably one of my biggest role models. She's always so dedicated to everything she does, whether it's in like sports or hockey. And now it's just exciting because I get to spend a whole year with her at school where we're like away from all the craziness of at home, and we're just in a different atmosphere. So I'm really excited to see how fun of an adventure it is going to be the rest of this year.
High energy kid who liked to get involved in things, playing sports. Whatever we did, she'd get herself immersed in it, making cookies. I remember as a child her helping me sort nuts and bolts in the workroom. She would get engaged with what she was doing, and then she'd want to go eat. Food was always important to Carolyn. So whether it was snacks or whether it was just what are we going to have next? You know, she always liked to know kind of where her next meal was coming from and what it was, so she'd kind of work toward that. You know, she just was a very happy child. A lot of fun memories of waking up and her standing in her crib ready to get out, or coming to greet you, or just she liked to snuggle sometimes, but then when she'd got older, she liked to move around a lot. So, you know, just, I don't know, she was a good kid. A lot of fun with her.
My first impression of Carolyn was, especially after seeing her on the ice, she's just so humble. I've never met a person that was just so genuinely like, no, it was all my teammates. Like they're so good at what they do, and I couldn't have made that play without them, or I would have never scored that goal had, Lindsay not passed it to me. Or she just is so quick to compliment others and just encourage. Her and I would like write cards back and forth through the POs, and I just loved her encouragement, and it inspired me to encourage others more too. So
my first impression of Carolyn was just that bright smile, and she is just friendly and confident from the get-go, and you just feel like as soon as you meet her that like you've known her for a while. Just she makes you feel so warm and welcome. And so I think my first impression was just like, who is this girl? She seems so friendly and she has this great smile. I just want to get to know her.
First impression of her, just that she was really outgoing and fun to hang around with, and I could tell she had real passion and talent for video work, and it was just fun to be around her and work with her.
She was just really mean. She was rude and arrogant.
Just like no manners
full
at
of
all.
herself. She was just
off the wall.
Always with boys and
Couldn't
just like
control the girl.
But we got to know her, and she's not as bad as that. I don't think. No, okay,
anymore.
but really, what is it?
But really, what was the question?
First impression.
My first impression of Carolyn, she was just really nice and really welcoming, and I don't know, just right off the bat, like she wasn't shy, like she just started conversation with us right away, so it's kind of nice to just talk to someone when we didn't know anyone as freshmen, so.
Yeah, like, cause we jumped into like being friends like right away, all together, and she was just super nice and just like getting to know us, and I don't know, we hung out a lot like right away, so.
So at All Saints, Carol and I did not have the best relationship. We fought all the time. I never let her play with any of our toys or anything, so it wasn't really until like third grade or so when we became good friends in Miss Peterson's third grade class.
First impression is she's really caring and really, she does a really good job at inviting and including people and making sure they feel at home, and yeah, that was probably my first impression.
Just the nicest human being on the planet.
She was really friendly and very inclusive and always thinking of others.
Well, she was quiet at first, but whenever she did say anything, it was so nice and so sweet and always encouraging, and yeah, she always like knew exactly what to say. She's very good with her words.
First impression of her was like, man, I'm glad this girl's on my team instead of coming against me.
My first impression of her, like when I first like really got to know her, I mean, I realized that she was very like open and willing to not only like make sure that everyone felt comfortable, but she was super, what's the word? She was more willing to put others before herself is the easiest way to explain Carolyn Draayer.
I thought she was super nice and very helpful, like on and off the ice. She'd give me tips about like school and everything, so that was super helpful. She was also kind of intimidating because like she was like, I mean, she's a sophomore, and like, I don't know, she knew the ropes, which was kind of intimidating, but I don't know, she was super nice, and I knew that she was gonna be a good leader.
My first impression of Carolyn was actually she kind of intimidated me a little bit. Like, she was super nice and super genuine and great, but I was a little afraid of her on the ice because she could turn into a whole different person on the ice, and she's just like somebody like people like aspire to be on the ice, so it was a little bit intimidating.
Well, I was kind of intimidated by everyone because I was just a wee little freshman, but she was really nice and open to everyone and just like really welcoming, which a lot of older girls sometimes weren't, so that was cool.
With her being the first in line, she was a born leader. You know, she's somebody that takes control of the situation and is always positive, always smiling no matter what the situation, and it's something that you can tell that's a natural thing. It's a born, she was a born leader.
She was just very genuine. Like she asked me the normal questions you would ask any freshman, like how are you doing? Do you like your dorm? What do you think about majoring in? Where you're from? Whatever. But she was different from other people in that you could tell that she just like really cared about your answers and was really genuinely interested in you as a person.
She was just so nice and caring and open, and she just wanted to make everyone feel welcome. Well, one specific thing I remember about Carolyn is that the team was called the Tasmanian Devils, and her and Courtney McDougal would wear these god-awful, nasty, ugly Tasmanian Devil bandanas to every single soccer practice and to every single game. And I was like, okay, this girl's kind of like crazy, like she just looks really like, I don't know, really BA and like super good and all that. But it turns out like I said before, she was one of the most welcoming girls on the team. Like definitely took the extra step to reach out to me. She knew I was new, and getting to know me, and that's really when our friendship started.
All the hockey girls are really nice, but Draayer was just like exceptionally nice and like welcoming.
She was goofy. She enjoyed playing little tricks on everybody, from start till, the whole time. But she was a hard worker, was a natural born leader, and had natural talent for, I swear to God, everything she did. But she was willing to work hard at what she wanted and to be at the level that she wanted to be at. And that was something I've always admired about her too.
I was scared, really scared. I like to compare her to Lindsay Yelm in the sense of like, I was also scared of Lindsay when she was on the ice. And so my first impression was like, wow, this girl, stay out of her path because she'll do anything it takes to get the job done, which is kind of a good thing, but kind of scary when you're the target.
She's just really fun and she's nice, and that she like really cares about what you have to say, and she's always there for you.
First impression was she was super, super kind, and she was really interested in me and like why I came to school, and she just really seemed to care about me even though she just met me.
I think my first impression is like my impression now still, just like this automatic leader, like she's just like always come off as like such a great leader from the start, and she's always been like so welcoming to everybody at any level, just a great person and really nice to be around.
As far as my first impression of you, Draayer, I literally thought that you were a Tasmanian Devil on the ice. You were always one of those players, and you still are. You're not afraid to go into the corner, dig that puck out, but you can also, score that pretty goal and go top shelf. And that was one of the things I noticed right away, because there's a lot of girls that, don't go into the corner, they're limited in their ability, where they're only a goal scorer or they're only a playmaker and they can't do both. But that was one of the first things that I noticed, especially even coming into your freshman year. I noticed that, and it translated through the rest of your high school career, and I've seen you play a couple college games too. And so that, my first impression of you was just, this girl can really work hard, and she can finish. And off the ice, first impression of you, didn't really get to know you that well during captain's practice. We were both kind of shy, and one of the best things I think freshman year was sitting next to you in the corner. We were both pretty shy, so we were both kind of awkward in the corner, not really saying too much to other people. But when I did when you and me did talk, we did talk a lot more as the season progressed. But you were always there encouraging me if I let in a bad goal, in between periods or even before practice. You were just always excited to go on the ice. And I think over the years, you've probably had the biggest influence on me as far as getting excited for practice. I know there's been times, even in college, where there might be a day where I just don't want to get on the ice. And as weird as it sounds, it's like I think back to high school, freshman year, where I was sitting next to you and you were always so positive about going onto the ice, and that's been a huge thing for me.
Favorite memory has to be the first three-peat of the state championships. I came back to watch from school. And they had just won, and the crowd went wild, the team went wild, and as they were walking off to celebrate in the locker room after Draayer had won her award, and God, it was so cool to see. And after they were getting off the ice, Draayer saw me because I was giving high fives to all the girls. And she saw me and she's like, Brenna, this was because of your class. This was because of your class. You guys should be down here with us. Will you come in the locker room with us? And I was like, Draayer, you just won. This is your time to celebrate. Don't worry about and she was always just thinking of other people. And It was so sweet. It meant so much to me because, you know, we didn't quite make it. But just, you know, in between all of the, you know, cheering and excitement of winning, she still was like, this was because of your class. And I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. And turns out they didn't allow other people into the locker room, so I didn't actually go, but I didn't even care. It was just her reaching out like that. I just thought it was so sweet of her.
I think my favorite memory of Carolyn is when we went to Valley Scare together just this fall, and I think it's just because, I mean, I've known Carolyn since I was a sophomore, or I guess it's technically since I was a freshman, but I've never really gotten to spend a lot of time with her just because we both have super busy schedules and she's a super hard worker doing tons of stuff, and so we never really get to spend time together. And so it was super encouraging and super filling for me to be able to convince her to go to Valley Scare with the gang, and because I got to just spend some time with her, hanging out, doing fun stuff together, and just being friends. And so I think that's just one of the best memories I'll take away, at least.
I would say my favorite memory of her is when she received the Herb Brooks Award after the state tournament. Just because after getting to know Carolyn and knowing what she was all about and her family, and just the culmination of everything that she did, and to receive that biggest award, you know, for girls hockey under the limelight of winning a state championship and also being honored with the Herb Brooks thing, I think that's what I'll always remember Carolyn for.
Last fall, I actually got the opportunity to room with Carolyn, so that was really nice because we kind of, me, her, Mus, and Courtney roomed together, and we got really close, and we've become really good friends, and her friendship is something that I hope will last a long time.
I have a couple. One was just like with Thursdays, that we'd always go every Thursday, and then bingo night. It's kind of stuff. Yeah, she'll know.
Probably growing up, one of my favorite memories was either like when we'd go like sledding at Scenic Heights with my grandparents, or we would be making weird videos again. She's been into this whole video making since she was a kid. We would make videos rapping to some probably really inappropriate songs we didn't know the lyrics to, or making like silly cooking videos in the kitchen about how to make brownies or something like that. Some other fun experiences were like on holidays, Carol and I would wear some like ridiculous matching dresses or matching pajamas, so those are always fun.
Draayer, we've had so many memories over the years, and you know, just trying to think of some over the last 2 weeks, I came up with, you know, sitting over with you in the corner over there freshman year. That was pretty awesome, and you know, we were awkward at the beginning because, you know, we were both shy, both freshmen, didn't really know how to act around people, and we had some pretty funny moments over there, but getting to sit by you freshman year, especially as a newcomer, I couldn't have sat next to a better person. You were just so welcoming to me, and obviously that can be pretty tough, especially you coming in as a freshman too, so that was pretty awesome to be able to sit with you for a year over there. And then you ended up moving, but nobody really wants to sit next to a goalie for more than a year, so I understand. But throughout the 4 years that we had here, we played Hockey Day Minnesota together. We won first conference, first section, and first state title, and those three things, to be able to experience that with a group like you, Rachel, and Paige, was something pretty special, and I forever treasure that memory. Getting to go over wow, I cannot talk today. Getting to go over to your house throughout the 4 years, you know, playing pond hockey or spending time with your dogs, I don't know. I love golden retrievers, so obviously it was fun to go over to your house, but you know, getting to hang out with you outside of hockey was pretty awesome. Over the years, we've gone to so many times, we've gone out to lunch and just, you know, chatted about life, and that's been pretty awesome. When you won the Herb Brooks Award after the state championship, I stood next to Ramsey on the blue line, and we were both just so happy for you, and you know, not surprised at all, because I mean, you're Carolyn Draayer. Of course you're gonna win the Herb Brooks Award. That's just literally just the person that you are. You're just an awesome person, and nobody can disagree with me on that. But another memory that we've had together is the music video that you, me, Paige, and Rachel did our senior year. I never saw that, so if you have that, that'd be interesting to see. But another memory with Carolyn Draayer. Well, it's funny because I'm actually sitting in your stall. That was yours senior year, and on the whiteboard the team has up this year, one common goal, Section 6AA champions. And I remember that was our senior year, we started doing the one common goal thing. This is when we were doing our team goals our senior year, and a lot of people had said, you know, we want to win state. That was the team goal. But I think it was you, me, and one or two other people that said, hey, you know what? We need to win sections before we even get to state. And that was just kind of who we were as a team our senior year. We were lucky enough to have, you know, some great players on the team, including you. So that was, senior year was just a blur in itself. And I mean, you could go down to like one pasta party and that could be like a great memory that we had, because senior year was just awesome and you couldn't ask for a better year to end your career here at Minnetonka. But I've had some great memories with you, and I'm very fortunate to have met you, and hopefully, you know, continuing out of college. I can't believe that we're graduating in like, what is it, 5 months here? That's just crazy, because it seems like just yesterday was freshman year. Just moving into the locker room, and it's been a great, what is it, 8 years? 8 years, almost 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, whatever it's been, getting to know you and getting to play with you, and I look forward to the memories that I'm going to make with you in the future.
I would say, so sophomore year, Carolyn and I were both on the St. Lucia court together. So we woke up early in the morning, and there was 4 other girls with us, and we went caroling through the dorms. And then there's this whole St. Lucia festival, and we wear these white robes, and it's kind of goofy but fun. So that day, sophomore year, and then the years after, especially this year, just hanging out and kind of going to the festival for one last time together, and just looking back over the past few years. It's just a really special memory for me, and then Carolyn and I have really bonded through that, so it's fun to look back on those days. I know that's something we'll always share.
Oh, we have a few. So last year, one of my favorite memories from last year was when we were coming back from campus, picking up a few friends, and we were coming back up the hill, and it was snowing out, and we were on the hill and we couldn't get the car up, and so we actually had to get out and like physically push the car up the hill. And then these random guys like came up to us and like asked us to like make snow angels in the snow with them on the side of the hill. So that was super fun. What else? Baking and movie nights are always really fun with Carolyn. And then we both have a love of scaring people and making like videos about it. So that's enjoyable.
I think it was probably when she graduated, she wrote me this amazing letter that gave me advice and told me she'd always be there for me, and it made me cry, and it was really cute.
One of my favorite memories of Carolyn is at our old house when she was really little, probably like 4 or 5, and I would walk by her room and she'd be in there and she'd be telling stories. I could hear her telling stories. She'd be telling stories about her Beanie Babies, probably to her other Beanie Babies, and so sometimes I'd come in and listen to them, and sometimes I'd just stand outside her door and listen to her. And eventually I got her a little tape recorder so she could tape the stories and talk into her little microphone and recorded them and stuff. And some of them I transcribed, so that was kind of a fun memory of kind of early days of Carolyn. I also remember just how busy and active she was. She was crazy. In our living room we had an ottoman that was like a it was a coffee table ottoman, and that was like a play mat. It was jumped on, it was tumbled on, it was run around, it was, you know, there was nothing she wouldn't climb on, or, you know, I don't know, she's just really active.
My favorite memory was probably last year, bingo night. We were all in the car just singing Bingo Was His Name, and that was really fun.
One of my favorite memories was definitely going to Iowa with her for our soccer tournaments. My favorite trip was we spent probably 5 hours in the car, and we prank called everyone you can imagine and ate way too many pieces of bubble gum, and I don't know, it shows how great Carolyn is when she can make a 5-hour car ride really, really fun.
A lot of my favorite memories really go back to when we played soccer together. We spent a lot of time together in the summer. I would always tell people, like, this is Carolyn Draayer. We'd go to different schools, so I don't get to see her much during the school year, but she's my best friend during the summer. We spend a lot of time at her house, hanging out on the lake, a lot of time with the soccer team, you know, every day. Some good memories I have are our trips to Des Moines, Iowa, and roughing it through the awful weather down there, trying to see how many double bubble gums we could stuff in our mouth. I think we got to like 32 or something. When we and another friend called KDWB, pretending that somebody just got married on the way down there. And also our soccer trip to Steamboat Springs, Colorado was a big highlight, and pulled some pretty fun pranks on our coach, and yeah, a lot of good memories with soccer in those summers.
Coaching Carolyn, the favorite memory I have two actually. One of them was our team was a team when she was a senior and you were a senior, and the class that graduated in 2011 was a very, very strong hockey team with hockey players, but I don't think the chemistry of the team came together really tight until about January. And I credit the chemistry coming together and the girls getting along and having really a good time to Carolyn's practical jokes. I think that she started hanging or stashing gag gifts in the upper locker stall of the girls' lockers, and every day after school, a player would get, 1, 2, or 3 players in the team each day would get a random, gag gift. It might have been an old hairbrush, it might have been an old, plunger, something that she may have found in either the attic or the basement. I mean, a lot of these things she didn't go out and buy, but she just found funny gag gifts. And I just remember, we would be in the coach's office and we'd hear girls laughing and saying, "Oh my gosh, what did you get? What'd you get?" And all the while, Carolyn was videotaping with a GoPro that she showed at the senior banquet that year, what she was doing. But during that time and the days after, it seemed like the team started having a little more fun, started to loosen up a little more. The bus rides there was more laughing, more joking, more just, I guess, team camaraderie. And I think that as a captain, her ability to keep things light, keep things fun, we had a target on our back and we were ranked number 1, and we wanted to be as good as we could be, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be successful on the ice. But Carolyn made the season, I think, more enjoyable and more fun for the players and coaches. And so I'll never forget that. I think it was a key to our success on the ice for sure.
My favorite memory would definitely be we went on spring break this past year together with Leah, and we went to Palm Springs, so that was super fun. The first thing that pops in my mind is being on the airplane with her and just like that whole little roller coaster, not flying into Palm Springs and getting sidetracked to Los Angeles. So just like, I don't know, the whole trip was super fun with her.
I would say, I remember her waking me up throwing balloons at me in 7th grade when a couple girls kidnapped me for a surprise birthday party. And I just remember waking up and, Carolyn Draayer's in my room, like throwing balloons at me, like what the heck. Yeah, that's been one of my favorite ones too.
This past Thanksgiving, I got to go spend the whole weekend with the Draayers and for Thanksgiving, and that was really fun. I got to experience their problems with Crosby and his obsession with yarn. So, and I got to have dinner with her. It was just a really fun weekend.
I did think of another memory, and I actually found this one out. I completely forgot about this when you gave me the videos from senior year to look through, and because we didn't do a video for senior year at the banquet because obviously like there's just so much that happened senior year. But I remember, and this was this summer that you gave me the videos, and I was looking through all of them, and all of a sudden I see this video of the coach's room, and EJ's in the coach's room, and all of a sudden I see myself walk in, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. And for those of you who don't know, Carolyn thought it would be really funny to her and EJ plan this whole thing about, I think it was, I don't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was after like practice one day or like a skate with like younger skipper girls or something, but there were bagels in the freaking locker room, and I took one, or maybe it was in the coach's room, but I took one because, I mean, they were for us. Oh no, it was for the envelopes. We were doing the envelopes, and I don't think I ended up doing an envelope or something like that. I don't know. It was something stupid. So I took an envelope, or not took an envelope, took a bagel, And EJ called me into the coach's room and got really upset with me about how I didn't ask him for a bagel. And of course, I mean, I think I was a sophomore at this time. I mean, I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm really scared. Why is he mad at me over a bagel? And later I found out that, of course, Carolyn Draayer and her jokes and her tricks planned this with EJ to yell at me. And so, of course, I was like punked, as Carolyn would say. But I mean, looking back on it now, it was pretty funny, but I was getting so upset, I was defensive, and I was like, oh my God, EJ's such a jerk. But yeah, that was a pretty funny memory, and as everyone knows, Carolyn always likes to play tricks on people, and that was just a pretty funny example. Not senior year, I'm not sure if it was, I think it was sophomore year, but like I said, Carolyn was just such a freaking prankster.
I would definitely have to say sober cabbing with Carolyn. I mean, we have so many good stories and there's so many good memories, whether it's we're baking treats or waiting for that crazy phone call. And so it's always been a good one.
My favorite memory of Carolyn is when, I can't even remember what year it was. I think she was a senior. Yeah, she was probably captain. And somebody like left all these little notes in everyone's locker. They were like a paragraph long for each person, saying like motivational things or things they were good at, or just like, I don't know, really nice. And then we're all like, who left these? And obviously it was Carolyn, but she like denied it till her deathbed. And then finally after like weeks, she admitted that it was her. So that's like my favorite memory of Carolyn, just always being so nice to everyone and encouraging everyone.
My favorite memory of Carolyn is getting the opportunity to be a greeter with her for her senior year. I had a ton of fun doing that, and I'm so glad that I could share that with her.
One of my favorite memories with Dre is we used to do buzz hockey Wednesday mornings before school when we were in I was in middle school, she was probably in middle school too, not really sure. And after every single Wednesday morning skate, we'd get undressed super fast just so we could get hot chocolate to drink for the car rides home. And we did that every Wednesday for a couple of years.
One of my favorite memories, okay, so there's a couple. Definitely the cabin weekends at her grandparents' cabin. Us girls just have so much fun. You know, we went on pontoon rides and just making meals together, and Carolyn is such a good cook, so I think there's a lot of memories that typically involve food. So another time was when we went on spring break together. So Lindsay and Carolyn and I went to Palm Springs and got to stay with her grandpa's cousin Norman, and he taught us how to make New York cheesecake, and it was just, we were always just like making fun salads. And you know how normally people on spring break are just like partying or like running around in their swimsuits or whatever, but we were like, what are we gonna make for lunch? Like, what are we gonna have for breakfast? And it was just like so fun planning out the food and just spending time together. And of course, just, I mean, and then being able to look back on those memories, just from Carolyn taking pictures and videos, and it's just so precious that we get to remember how we spent our time together because of the videos that she makes when we're hanging out and when we were just, you know, driving through Palm Springs and just all these like palm trees, and I wouldn't have remembered exactly what it looked like except that she was able to capture that.
Oh, so. My favorite memory is baking at her house this year. Before we moved out last year, she was like, I'm gonna have a house next year. I want you to come over and bake cookies. And I was really excited, but kind of like worried that we wouldn't follow through, but we've done it a few times. And it's so nice just to be able to like spend time with her one-on-one and catch up on our lives, which is awesome.
There's a lot. You go first, your memory.
Well, this is a funny memory. It's when we witnessed Carolyn take her first shot at the hotel with Gina Danucci. I don't know what her first shot of or what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Probably like a Kharkov.
It was so funny. I will never ever forget it.
No. It was funny. Other memories we have with Draayer. We lived together last year. Last year she almost set off the fire alarm trying to cook.
She did.
But it was during a lockdown for a tornado drill. So we couldn't go outside, but the fire alarm was gonna go off to send everyone outside.
So we literally grabbed blankets and towels and we were all doing this by the oven.
It was the biggest fiasco. We still ate that chicken though. I don't know if it was that good. But other memories, what do we got?
Spring break, heads Tahoe to Tampa.
Yeah, we road trip to Tampa. That was wild.
Fun stuff. Courtney almost hit a squirrel.
I hated that squirrel.
There probably isn't just one. I mean, she's
is the kind of player and the kind of person that I just left thinking very highly of her. So I wouldn't say that there's one memory that stands out, but always being on a line with her and, you know, having her as somebody I could count on the ice and off the ice.
You know, going back again to early childhood, I remember wrestling with her. You know, I'd get Diana and Carolyn together and we'd wrestle in the living room, and we'd do all-star wrestling, and then the pillows would come out and they'd pounce on me, and just some fun stuff like that. She was big into dress-up clothes, so they'd put on plays, they'd put on little shows. It didn't matter really who the audience was, if it was 1 or 15. Kieran had accumulated a lot of fun clothes that they would just, you know, whatever the spur of the moment was, you know, they'd do that kind of stuff. You know, as we got older, I think some of my fun memories are going out to up to my mom and dad's cabin, and they had 3 islands on the lake, and the girls and I and the dogs would all climb into the boat, and we'd take a little snack with us and we'd go explore the islands, and that was something that was kind of fun for us. You know, just Carolyn always enjoyed that little expedition and what we might find in nature and just time with the dogs, so that was fun. Of course, there's all kinds of hockey memories. You know, her first practice where she couldn't skate hardly at all and couldn't skate backwards, and she'd get off the ice and just say, you know, I had just a marvelous time. You know, to memories of U10 where, you know, she had a lot of success, was kind of her first leadership opportunity with Laura and Amy and a bunch of those girls that have become lifelong friends. Obviously U14, you know, the state title, high school, lots of good memories there, and now we're getting memories in college. So just, you know, hockey's been good to her for a lot of reasons.
It was captain's practice, and we were picking up the pucks when we were freshmen, and she comes up to me and Mus, and we're just like picking up the pucks and putting them in the bucket, and she looks at us, she goes, hey, did you guys shower? And we're both kind of like, oh, like, well, like, I don't know, do we smell? Like, feeling self-conscious. She goes, because you guys are pretty dirty out there. And we're like, oh, this girl.
Lord.
Good, great joke, but holy
it's
cats.
Like those kind of jokes, all practice. Like, what are some other ones? It's like,
hey, do you want me to call the hospital because you're looking pretty sick?
Yeah.
Or
it's jokes like it's just.
Should I call the fire department? You're on fire.
Like, yeah.
Nice, Draayer. No, but we love them because they're actually hilarious.
I love them.
Yeah, but I don't know. She's just the best.
She's just Draayer.
I don't know. We're lucky she puts up with us on a day-to-day basis. We got lucky with that one. Oh yeah, Carolyn,
I'm cold.
Carolyn, I'm tired.
Carolyn, I'm hungry.
Carolyn, can you shut the window?
That's just another memory. She'll get it.
Carolyn did carrot my driveway one time at a soccer party, so that was something. But on a good note, I had the opportunity to wear Carolyn's jersey in her championship game senior year of hockey, and I got on TV, and I think it meant a lot to both of us.
I think junior year, she and I played on the same line with Kira. That brought a lot of good memories together, of course. She just always had the best attitude and was always super positive no matter what the game was looking like or how we were playing. She was just really fun to play with.
I'll never forget when we work in the summer and we get to the rink at like 7:15 a.m. for work, and she's been there for like a half hour setting things up, just on her own time.
I'd say my favorite memory is working on the video project that we did together called MyAC Quality Athletics. And it was last winter. We got together in Minnetonka and we're working on some of like the title slides for the ending of the video. And we worked together on that, and then after we went out on Lake Minnetonka and put on our skates and kind of skated outside and like under the lights and stuff. And I remember it was a pretty cold night, but it was still fun to get out there, and we skated for a couple hours, and it was, I don't know, it was just a ton of fun. So I don't know, we've had a lot of great memories together working on different video projects, but I think just that one time outside, skating on the lake and just kind of being laid back and having fun, it was like one of my best memories.
Definitely when she was a captain and I was a sophomore coming in to the varsity team for the first time, because she always like made me feel welcomed, and like her pep talks, they were like funny, but also just got me pumped up, so I always felt welcome on the team.
Oh, another great memory. Seeing her come off the ice the first time she played hockey was fantastic. It was like she'd found her happy place. And she was horrible. She was like ankles bending in, and she was 7. She was in 2nd grade. And we went out there for the little night roundups, and it was a clinic, I guess. And, you know, there were a lot of boys there who'd been skating for 2-3 years, and she's this first-year little girl, and she doesn't go very fast, and they're up and down the ice, you know. And she couldn't go backwards, and she couldn't stop. And they were doing all that stuff, and a lot of the kids could like actually do it. And I thought, oh no, because I'd seen her. She liked to do things well, and she was horrible. She was like one of the worst people on the ice. And I thought, oh no, this is a disaster. She's gonna hate this. She came off the ice, and she's like, oh, that was so much fun. She was so excited. And it's like, okay, now we know. This is her thing.
The other thing I remember about Carolyn that I was impressed by was on senior night, we had 6 skaters and a goaltender, and you can only start 5 skaters and a goalie. And she offered to not start on senior night. And we had at least one JV player that typically wouldn't have played varsity and for sure wouldn't have started as a starting player in the game. And the JV player was able to start, and all 5 skaters and a goalie without Carolyn. Were able to start that game, and of course we were able to announce her because you can announce more than 5 for the senior night. But she wanted to put others before herself, and that is sort of a testament to what kind of person she is. She puts other people first and the team first.
All right, last memory, I promise, but probably the funniest thing of the 4 years that I was here, and I was literally just dying laughing, and I'm pretty sure everyone on the bus was, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was our junior year. And we were in Duluth, and I don't remember if this was after our first game or whatever, but we were gonna go bowling or something, and we're on the bus, and like EJ was trying to figure out like what we were gonna do, and like nobody really wanted to do anything, and everyone wanted to do, or people wanted to do different things. And I remember you got it on video, and I don't know, EJ, if you have seen this, but when he said like, I've been talking on the phone all night, I found out it was thrills. And like the best part of when he was like, I don't want to sit across the lane from Bergie, who's like, I don't want to freaking be here. Or like Sid Moore and a freshman, I don't think the girls want to bowl. And just the fact that you caught that on tape was literally the funniest thing in the world. I still have that on my computer from one of the videos that you sent me, and I still don't think EJ has any idea. So EJ, if you ever want to see that, it was pretty funny. And just the fact that like, Draayer, you captured probably the funniest moments, whether that was on the bus or in the locker room. That was pretty awesome that we did have somebody like you to get all these videos, whether it was EJ freaking out about that, and it was just that was probably just the funniest thing. I literally saw it the other day when I was going through trying to come up with memories with you, and that was pretty funny.
This is bad. We should be able to think of more memories. There's just so many.
It's so hard to think on the spot of something specific.
Yeah. Because all the memories are just that great and memorable.
They are. Okay. That's true.
All right. I don't
get the next question, please?
I think I love most is her lasting impression, because even when she graduated, she would still text us before games, and she was always still part of the family. And I love the hockey family, so I love Dre.
What I love most about Carolyn is that she just makes everybody around her a better person. She's so positive and outgoing and genuine, and anytime I'm around her, I just want to be my best self, and I think that's something that's really unique about her, and I really, really appreciate.
She's very endearing and very personable to everybody. You might not be the best friends, you might just be acquaintances or something, but she just makes you, just feel so a part of the conversation, or so a part of the activity. She's inclusive, and she makes everybody feel loved and very welcome, and she's just so genuine too.
Just that she's so caring and passionate, and she just makes everyone feel included and just loved.
I keep going back to it, I guess what I love most about Carolyn is how real she is. She's not fake as far as she'll do her own thing. She doesn't do the most popular thing. Whatever she does is real, whether it's making Christmas gifts for the players and putting them in the locker rooms beforehand, or encouraging kids when we're skating and, you know, they're about ready to throw up and she's the only one talking. It's just real. It's just Carolyn. And from my experience playing, there are some people that do that stuff and don't really mean it. And with Carolyn, I think it's genuine, straight from the heart.
I just love how she's always there for you, and like she'll really listen to you and have really good advice.
I think not only her work ethic on and off the ice, but her dedication to like the team and to her friends and family. I mean, you just don't see that very often, and with Carolyn, it's every day you see it. Just like the little things that she does, whether it's, you know, before game days, putting a little note card with a piece of chocolate, or like just encouraging words. She's always positive and always willing to pick people up.
The thing I love most about Dre is how she always thinks of others before herself. Like, she'll do anything for someone else, even if she needs something, she'll always think of others first.
I think I love most that Carolyn is so encouraging. We got to spend a lot of quality time together throughout the hockey season because I was the athletic training student with their team, and so I mean, she would come in and we would do like stretching and different like massage stuff. And I think Carolyn just always encouraged me in what I was doing, and as an athletic training student, she knew I was learning, and so she would encourage me in that. And just it's just so cool how much people feel affirmed when they're around her, because she picks out what she says, you're encouraging, or you're so great at this, or she's always like, you give the best hugs, you just taught me, like you teach me how to give good hugs. And so I think just how much she encourages, how much she affirms, and then is just so humble. I felt like I have learned a lot from her, seeing such a talented athlete, a talented student, and a person who balances a million things. And I like to balance a million things too, but for her to just give everyone else the credit and still be able to manage the high caliber life of a student, it's just really cool to be her friend. And yeah, and she has a lot of friends too, so it's just like, yeah, I just love so much about Carolyn.
I think that she's just an overall great person. Like, literally everything is so great about Carolyn. Like, there's not one specific thing that I could say. It's everything. But I especially love being locker buddies with her, so locker stall buddies. So
I think I just love what a good role model she is. Like, on the ice, off the ice. She's always been such a great influence for the Minnetonka program, and she's always been such a, like I said, a leader and always welcoming to everybody.
The best thing about Carolyn, I think a lot of people would say this, is that no matter how much time has passed, you know, if you haven't been seeing her really frequently, or if it's been a few weeks since you've gotten to talk to her, no matter how long it's been, she makes you feel like no time has passed. And just right away, she just gets back to talking to you about, you know, the little things, and then sometimes about the deeper stuff in life. And she's such a good listener, so you always feel so welcome to just share with her and talk about what makes you happy and your concerns and all of that. And she just like sits through it and gives you feedback and nods, even if maybe it's just crazy. But yeah, she always does that, and that makes me feel, and I think a lot of people feel like no matter how much time passes, she'll always be there for you.
Just, I don't know, there's just no one like Dre, and I think like all the qualities, like she's just so kind-hearted and sweet, and she's so genuine, and you can tell that. And I just think her kind-heartedness is like none other and above the rest. And so, yeah, she's definitely a standout when it comes to just being such a good person. We need more Dre's like her in this world, I feel like.
You know, I think Carolyn is just a hidden gem of Gustavus. I think there are lots of people that you encounter in this life and at this school specifically that if you don't take like a harder look, you'll never know, or like you'll never see these people. And I got lucky enough to encounter Carolyn through greeters, and I got to learn that this is just an amazing person who's super hardworking, cares about everyone so much, always puts others before herself, and it shows so genuinely. And I mean, it just comes down to like the way that she wants things to be done. I mean, when I was gonna give my senior speech during greeters, she wouldn't let me go until I was the last one, because like she was so adamant that that's what had to happen, and that was just like, it was so obvious that she cared. And I feel like it's super cliche, I'm sure everyone says this, but like she's just so hardworking and she cares so much, and I think that's what makes her such a great person.
I love Carolyn's caring heart, She's really, she just really cares very deeply. She has a lot of emotional drivers. She doesn't do anything she doesn't really feel. I love how focused she is. I love how she can dedicate herself to something and really stick with it. I love her sense of humor. Sometimes she can be kind of intense. She's very serious and dedicated to what she does, and I would have been worried about her growing up if she didn't have this other little side where she'd play practical jokes, which I'm sure you remember some of them. You know, it sort of was this other side of her that I thought, okay, she's stable, she's good, she's not going to go over the deep end.
I love that she's so caring, and if you're having a bad day, she'll always be there to help you and bring you up. And when I'm always having a bad day, she offers me a half her granola bar.
She's always there to, like, for anyone whenever you need her, and she'll do anything for anyone, no matter if it like affects her life at all. She's just so selfless.
How she always thinks of others and how she's always there for you no matter what, and she's always there to listen to you and give you advice.
Kind of comes back to like my first impression. Just that she's, I mean, dependable and fun to hang out with, and I know if you know, working on a project with her, if there's a time and place that we need to meet or something that she says she's going to do, that she'll be there and have it done. So as far as like a character standpoint, that's something that I love about her, and beyond that, she's just fun to hang out with, really outgoing, and I like her personality, and that's always been fun working together.
She's one of those people that is a fantastic person on the ice and off the ice. And you see the way she plays on the ice, but the way she plays on the ice, you can tell that that's how she lives her life off the ice. She works hard, she jumps on the puck, and she doesn't care if people around her are working hard or not. The alumni game, people are sucking wind, and nobody's playing hard, and Carolyn's the one still, you know, full blast to the puck. And that's the way she is in the life too. You know, she doesn't care if people around her are working hard or not. She's going to work hard and give 100%.
My favorite thing about Carolyn is how genuine she is. She just really cares about everyone, and she's always looking for the best in people and in every situation, and I think that's a really cool thing, and I love that about her.
I love that Carolyn is so caring and just kind to everyone, and it's really cool to have like a role model who just motivates you and always is saying kind words to pick you up and make you feel like you're awesome. And she was just such a good role model, and I'm really thankful that I got to meet her and that I still have her in my life.
What I love most about Carolyn, I don't know, she's just a really good friend, always willing to talk, always there for us.
I mean, she's like a very like involved person and very like busy in her schedule, but like no matter what, like she knows. I think like she's one of those people that, like, I guess with me immediately knows like when I'm having a bad day, and like can tell, and like is super like caring and like wondering like what's going on, and not just like the surface level stuff. And she always makes time, even though she's like busy like talking to the president or like running the school or whatever the hell she does. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. Well, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. She's just like so caring and like knows me like just as well as I know myself, and just
She can always put a smile on your face,
always,
no matter what mood you're in.
Carolyn's personality is definitely the thing I love most about her. She's always willing to help others out, and the biggest thing is that she's always a leader.
Probably her little notes that she leaves. She always, like, either while they're in my P.O. box or they're in my stall, or if it's just a text, she always says the sweetest things to me, and I'm sure to everybody else. She's just encouraging if I had like a bad day, or she always jokes around with my stick for games. She's like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy, like there's gonna be so many goals in this stick. And just the little encouraging things that she does, and she does really make people want to be better.
I love her compassion and her drive. She's involved in 50 million things, but she'll still take the time to meet with you, help you out, and she gives 100% to everything that she does.
You know, Carolyn's one of those people who just can't be rushed. She, as much as that sometimes is an annoyance, that's one of her traits. You know, if she's working on a video, you know, she will put the time and effort into it to get it just the way she wants it. I think when, you know, she's doing an assignment, you know, Carolyn is one who, you know, just really puts all of her effort and energy into it. So, you know, as far as her mannerisms, she's all in. You know, she's always worked that way. you know, Carolyn always has good intentions, you know. Is she perfect? No. But she, you know, tries to be a good friend. She tries to see the good side of things. You know, she's always looking for something that's kind of fun. Yesterday we went and got cross-country skis, and she texted us and said, yay, you know, just, you know, again, kind of joins the moment. So, again, she's a pretty energetic girl, or woman, I should say, who just, you know, loves life and just is plugged in.
The thing I love most about Carolyn has really came out through our career in college so far together is her encouragement. I mean, everybody knows she's one of the most encouraging people, very inspirational, very positive. She writes a lot of notes of affirmation, and that's really helped me, especially with hockey. Just some of the challenges I've faced with hockey. She's been very successful, but she's always taken notice, like when I'm having challenges, to like reach out and give me those words of affirmation to build me back up and encourage me through those challenges. And so I credit a lot to her of me being able to stay on this team and enjoy being on this team.
I think that she's a positive cheerleader. I mean, she's a cheerleader that is a great athlete. So she not only goes out there and does it on the ice, she's always cheering for somebody on the bench. She's cheering for people in the locker room. She's trying to pick other people up, lift them up, and she's just really positive, and her energy is contagious, and she's just really fun to be around, and she cares. And sometimes it's hard to believe that a human can have that much care and compassion. You know, like sometimes I think we gave her crap for being so positive all the time, but she really is just an ultimate caring, positive person and a great person to have on the team.
What I love most about her is probably her sense of awareness for like others. I don't know if you'd say like feelings, but she's also very kind and loving towards others. She's constantly going out of her way to make sure others are okay. I've noticed it a lot this year in hockey since she's one of the seniors on the team. She's constantly making sure the freshmen are integrated into the team and feeling welcome. Also, I've just loved the fact that like since she goes out of her way, I've noticed it in myself too, especially this year. If I'm ever in a bad mood, she just comes up and hugs me, even though she knows I hate it. I kind of try and squirm out of it. But I just love the fact that she's always aware of like everyone around her and their emotions and how they're feeling.
So definitely her sense of humor is one of my favorite parts. She always knows how to make a night fun, even if there's nothing to do. We prank too many people, throwing carrots at Allie, or putting like quesadillas or something on Lisa Buller's car. Just always doing something crazy and fun, or cinnamon challenges or saltine challenges. She always makes the night really fun.
What I love most about you, Dre, is just your sense of compassion towards others. You know, you go through all the memories that we've had, and just getting to know you over the years. I think we've known each other since freshman year of high school, so it's been a while. And getting to see, you know, the lives that you've impacted, getting to interview this Gustavus people, you know, Minnetonka hockey players, your family, just getting to interview all those people and just kind of see the lives that you've impacted, because you've impacted a ton of lives over the years, and you've extremely positively impacted mine. You're one of my best friends, and, you know, I thought it would just be a great idea to, you know, give back to somebody who gives so much to everyone else. And I mean, I always tell people there's not many Carolyn Draayers out there in the world, and if there are, they're not as good as you. So you're overall just a great person, and I've learned so much from you over the years, just to become a better person. And whenever I have a situation in life where, you know, it's getting me down or anything, I always think of what would Carolyn Draayer do, and always thinking of just the positivity that you would bring, you know, inside the locker room or just as a friend outside in the real world. So I've been very lucky to have known you as long as freshman year, since our little awkward occasions as we were in the corner. Getting to sit next to you for that year was pretty fun, but you know, over the next years I hope to stay in contact with you, and I know we will. But it's been a blessing to get to know you, and we're very lucky to have a Carolyn Draayer in this world.
Well, Dre, you know, I hope you liked the video. It was a really fun experience for me to,
hear all the nice things that everyone had to say about you, from your Gustavus friends to coaches to players in the Minnetonka hockey community and just your family in general. So it was a really fun thing for me to do, and you deserve it. You're just an overall great person, and you show great character in everything that you do. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you the best of luck during the rest of your hockey season, and love you, bud.